The third Republican presidential primary debate was this past Wednesday, and we got to see a heavily narrowed field for the first time. As of November 9th, the national polling for the GOP primary candidates stands as such, with Trump at 56.6%, DeSantis at 14.2%, Haley at 8.7%, and Vivek Ramaswamy at 5.3%. And then Chris Christie is around 3.2%, and Tim Scott is at 2.2%. But I won't really be mentioning those two in this video, since, to be honest, they're largely irrelevant at this point. I anticipate one of the two will be dropping out anyway. It's funny, I wrote the script on Thursday night, a day after the debate, and Tim Scott just dropped out as I'm recording this, so yeah. The debate was generally tame. I wouldn't expect it to change much in the polling. Polling after the debate seems to indicate that voters think Nikki Haley performed the best and Vivek the worst. But if you go on Twitter, the reaction seems almost the opposite, which is something that's interesting to note, in my opinion. The first question asked during the debate was likely the most significant, and maybe the only one that will end up mattering a year from now. The question was essentially, Donald Trump is still popular and is the frontrunner despite all of his legal troubles, so why should voters vote for you instead? I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically the question. And the answers to this question were very telling. DeSantis answered by criticizing the elites for not caring about inflation. He pointed to his Florida record as evidence of him being able to get the job done. With regard to Donald Trump, he said that this is currently a different time from 2016, and Trump is a different guy now as well. He points at Trump's COVID policies, lack of getting Mexico to pay for the wall, and his inability to assist Republicans in midterm elections in 2018, 2020, and 2022 as faults of his. And the promised red wave in the 2022 midterms was really only existent in Florida, is the point he made. This is the Ron DeSantis campaign's primary selling point. You can think of it as COVID policies plus Florida plus, like, I can win elections. That's basically his campaign message. Nikki Haley's answer was a bit different. She pointed out several issues such as national debt, inflation, border security, and foreign policy. She stated that Trump put the country $8 trillion deeper in debt and had gotten softer on foreign policy. Essentially, her campaign's selling point is that she will pay down the debt, be hawkish on foreign policy, while focusing domestically on crime and border security. It's sort of kind of like the classic Republican strategy. Now, Vivek had another approach. He didn't mention Trump once during his response. Instead, he positioned himself against the GOP establishment by stating that there's something deeper that's wrong with the GOP after seeing the recent election losses in Virginia, Ohio, and Kentucky. He attacked Ronna McDaniel, the chairwoman of the RNC, and he asked her to resign after these losses. In addition, he stated that the very fact that this debate was hosted by NBC was indicative of the fact that the GOP establishment is cheering for losing. He stated that the Democrats would never let someone like Greg Gutfeld host their debates, so why does the GOP do this? Instead, he proposed that Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, and Elon Musk should have been asked to host his debate. Lastly, he told the host of the debate to answer whether the Trump collusion story was real or fake, and then he asserted that the media tried to rig the 2016 election, rig the 2020 election, and will do the same in 2024 unless the GOP establishment is willing to stand up against them. It's pretty clear from here that Ramaswamy is painting himself as Trump without Trump on the debate stage. His primary objective appears to be to gain as much traction as possible, potentially become the VP nominee if and when Trump wins the nomination, and then he intends to position himself as a key player in the 2028 primaries. Of course, I'm editorializing here, but I feel this isn't too big of a leap to make, given his campaign thus far. While he didn't mention Trump in this response, I've seen him mention why he's an alternative to Trump, and his answer essentially amounts to, we need someone with fresher legs to fight the establishment, like someone from the next generation rather than Trump, who's like, I think, 80-something or something like that, I don't know. DeSantis, on the other hand, does not believe that Trump will be able to accomplish as much as him if elected. He points out that Trump did not drain the swamp during his first term, and that Trump's refusal to fire Fauci is a key example of him not learning his lesson about the swamp. He thinks all these issues make DeSantis more electable in a national election than Trump versus Biden. He also notes that nominating Trump would almost likely mean more legal battles and investigations as sort of problems that he would face from day one, even if he was elected. And so DeSantis would have an easier time getting the same agenda done. That's basically his point. Now, former President Donald Trump is still the overwhelming frontrunner and is campaigning just as that. He's yet to show up to a debate and has held rallies at the same time as the GOP debates every night so far. His campaign is essentially a version of his 2016 campaign with the primary message of this time we're going to get the job done. Now, on the surface, this appears to play right into the Ron DeSantis campaign's messaging. However, this has not shown itself in the polls. Instead, what I feel goes unsaid in a lot of the media is that Trump voters share this sentiment of getting the job done. I mean, Trump was nominated in 2016 in large part as a referendum against establishment politics. If you go from that mentality to voting for someone else in 2024, I think it's sort of like saying, okay, well, we tried, but now we should go back to normal. And the Trump campaign is betting on voter sentiment in the GOP primaries being staunchly against the establishment still. They expect the majority of GOP primary voters to still share that distaste towards the establishment. And it seems that this is the case still based on the polling. The Iowa caucus is about 2 months away, and the poll numbers appear as such, with Trump at 45.6%, DeSantis at 17.1%, Nikki Haley at 13.9%, Tim Scott, who just dropped out, so we'll see where his percentage goes. Maybe when I post the picture here, you'll see where his percentage went or if he's still listed or not. He was at 7.3% though. Vivek was at 4.4%. Chris Christie was at 3.5% right after the debate. There's still some time to go, but as of now, it appears we're headed towards a 2020 rematch in the general. There are some new developments which may not be present in the polling as I'm recording this, such as Ron DeSantis getting an endorsement from Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, but I don't believe that could give him anywhere near the boost needed to surpass Trump. Maybe if he gets all of the Tim Scott percentage plus that boost, but still, I'm not sure if he'll be able to close that gap. Although there's still 2 months, so anything can happen, I suppose. And with that said, I'll be ending this video. I might do some more this style political analysis videos as campaign season gets going, but I'll also be throwing in some random stuff that's more fun. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the algorithm. You know the deal. Peace out. That is all for today. Maybe I'll have something else out this week. I spent too long on this for no reason. But yeah, peace out.